Hey there guys, this is Reckles with WTBGold, and today we're going to be doing a guide on how to play Zagara, the StarCraft 2 specialist in Heroes of the Storm. Now, I've always liked Zagara. I mean, she's a specialist and has been one of my most played since Alpha, but I fell in love with Zagara one game when the enemy Zag completely covered the map in creep by 4 minutes in. She's one of the best early game characters in the game. She provides amazing vision and map control as the match moves into late game, and is the quintessential lane bully. Also, if your team's ever losing, she's super fun to roleplay. Alright, so let's talk about what her abilities actually do before we move on to the talent selection. Her Q shoots out 4 Banelings that do AoE splash damage around the first thing they hit for a decent amount. It's not too much, but it's okay. Don't use this very much in early game laning or you'll yourself. It's great for grouped up teams and quickly clearing out multiple minion waves if you ever start to get overrun, since you can shoot it inside the little horseshoe that the minions make. Her W puts a really annoying Hydralisk on people that chases them, but can't cross walls or anything until the level 13 talent upgrade. This does a ton of damage if it hits for its full duration, so use this on heroes to poke from a distance or zone people away from minions or mercs or team fights, whatever. Her E drops a ball of 2 roaches on a target location and does a surprising amount of damage. The roaches themselves do a piddly amount, but roaches and auto attacks are great for pushing out a lane. They're also great for blocking projectiles like soaking a Stitch's Hook or Li Ming's Arcane Orb or Tower Shots. Now, her trait is Creep Tumor, and I could probably do an entire video just on Creep, but I'll try to keep this short. Every 15 seconds, she gets a charge of Creep Tumors, which she can use to give vision over a small area. Now, most people generally only think of Creep as vision, but it can actually do a lot more than that, and with all of its abilities combined, Creep is one of the best traits in the game. It gives you 20% move speed, which lets you engage, disengage, and maneuver around team fights better. It heals you up for 4 health per second at level 1, which, it's not a lot, but it is decent recovery during early game laning phases. And one of the most undervalued things is that it gives everything you summon plus 20% move speed when they're on creep. So this makes your Banelings harder to dodge. It lets your Mutalisks catch up to people who are trying to run away from them. In a nutshell, you want to have creep everywhere. You want it where you're fighting so you can heal up, in possible gank locations as a ward so you don't, surprise, die, and covering map objectives like the boss, enemy siege camps, and the Spider Queen turn-in. Let's get into talents though. For this build, we're going to go almost 100% creep focus. This wasn't considered viable until recently when some pro teams started running it, but it's absolutely fantastic. At level 1, we're going to take Reconstitution. This triples our health regen when we're on creep. So it takes us from 4 health per second at level 1 up to 13 health per second. That's a 45% health heal every minute as long as you're on creep. At level 20, it's almost 1400 healing per minute, and you can compare that to a Tranquility, which heals you for 1250. So with this, we have a lot of sustain in lane early on, and really good regen for those long, drawn-out poke fights. At level 4, even with the creep build, there's a really strong argument for Envenomed Spines, which increases your attack range, your damage, and adds a small poison dot. But we're going to go with Tumor Clutch. This reduces the cooldown on our creep from 15 seconds to 10 seconds, and it makes it cost no mana. So with this, you can put down 24 creep nodes before your first one runs out. That is a lot of map control. At level 7, we're taking Endless Creep. It doubles the size of your creep, which makes it a lot easier to quickly expand your map coverage. And also worth noting is that this talent is marginally defensive. With larger creep, it's harder to see where the node is. So an enemy Tyrande, for instance, is going to be wasting her mana and Lunar Flare cooldowns trying to clear your creep, instead of trying to hit you with that skill shot. At level 10, we've got some exciting news. Nidus Network now heals you and recovers mana when you're in it. So, you can use it for traveling around the map, but also a quick heal during a team fight. I'm still going to recommend Devouring Maw though, just to get the basic idea of Zagara down. With Devouring Maw, while grabbing the whole team is amazing if you can wombo combo them, it's better to focus out 2 or 3 people, usually ranged assassins or the healers, so that you can blow up a few of the other key targets without them getting any heals. At level 13 and 16, we're taking Mutalisk and Brood expansion. Now, there's a lot of argument between which Hydralisk upgrade you take, but Mutalisk does more damage to single target people in the long run. 1900 damage versus 1500. Mutalisk also has a chain attack and can fly over walls, so it's just better. And since we have creep everywhere, it's fast enough to keep up with people during that entire duration. Baneling Massacre, Metabolic Boost, and Stone Skin aren't bad talents, but the mutas are just so strong that unless you go with a battle momentum build, you can't really afford the DPS loss. For level 20, I generally take Fury of the Storm if I'm behind, since it lets you clear waves and merc camps super quick so you can get back to defending. Bolt of the Storm is great, depending on the map, and so good that Blizzard is actually sunsetting this talent. And Tyrant Maw is situationally amazing if you find yourself in a bunch of team fights. It not only makes Maw deal 1300 damage to anyone it grabs rather than the normal 800, but any team fight kill reduces the cooldown on it by 30 seconds. So, hypothetically, if 4 people die after you cast Maw, you could cast a second one immediately. Alright, early game setup, let's go! When you start a match, put some creep nodes at key gank bush locations on your side of the map. Putting nodes on their side might be tempting for the vision, but just imagine that every bush early game has 2 people in it. It's not worth it. Also, keep one node next to your towers so that if you get in trouble, you have that move speed and healing as you disengage. Now, for laning, don't use Banelings early, or you'll yourself, and instead, just drop roaches and clear the waves with auto attacks. Whenever a hero gets in range of you, just W and put a Hydralisk on them. Now, here's the important part. When you've killed off your lane minions, and have at least 2 creep tumors saved up, go run up and spread your creep. You're forcing your lane opponent to either respond to your creep or respond to your push, and either way, you're gonna overrun them in one avenue. Now, if you're up against 3 people instead of just 1, form a U with your creep around your towers in a really safe area, and just keep expanding that creep forward. In this case, you don't need to spot for ganks because everyone's already there trying to kill you. Just play safe and stay back near your towers, so they have to come in and take tower hits in order to engage on you. But you've got the move speed, so you're fine. Alright, and the last thing I'm going to say about creep. A big part of StarCraft 2 was button spam. Spamming buttons even when you didn't need to press them. With Zagara, one thing that can go wrong is great creep spread early game, but then kind of forgetting as time goes on and you get into more team fights and fights over objectives. So if you aren't always comfortable with the amount of spread you have, I'd recommend just spamming D, repeatedly pressing it throughout the game, so you get used to the cooldown of the creep and using creep tumors even when a team fight's going on. It's a little awkward at first, but once you get that internal timing of every 10 seconds putting a creep down, you're good to go and you can start placing it more creatively. Alright, merc camps. You're excellent at taking camps, so if there's an opportunity where you can grab one easily, do it. It gives your team the tempo lead and allows you to overwhelm your lane if you push with them. Have a creep tumor down so you get the healing. Open with roaches and use your hunter killer from actually a distance, kind of back up before you use it, so that your roaches and you tank the damage from the camp rather than your Mutalisk. Now, when it comes to team fights, you want to be positioned back and just use your long-range auto attacks, your banelings, your roaches, to whittle the enemy team down. Keep a Muta up on one focus target, usually the healer, the whole time, and if you have the opportunity to maw that healer or the whole backline, you know, do it. Zag works well with people who can take advantage, who can, you know, capitalize on her maw with Great Sundering or Rain of Vengeance. You know, people like Vala, Jaina, Gazlo, Thrall. But be careful if you're playing with an ETC or a Falstad who relies on people actually being there, not in stasis, to maximize their dance parties and lightning cannons. So, that's all for now. Thanks for watching my how-to Zagara. I'll be putting up one character guide a week every Tuesday, and if you want to see more, make sure you like this one and subscribe. In the comments, tell me, I don't know, the pros and cons of international sanctions. Talk to you guys later. Bye.